Welcome to Thursday, June 8th, 2023. Your Day Weather Podcast is being brought to you today by Cowboy State Daily. Check them out at cowboystatedaily.com. Well, this is like the movie Groundhog Day. We just continue to see the same thing over and over again, and the weather will be unchanged for the most part again today. Just a few slight, subtle differences. Thanks, Steve, from Billings, setting that shot in. Lots of thunderstorms and lots of big clouds building up in the afternoon and evening hours will be found again today. Montana, a good chunk of Montana is under a flood watch. In fact, about 3/4 of the state, as heavy rain could concentrate up there in some areas. So it's the same pattern. The moisture is getting pushed right up into the divide areas. So thunderstorms, though, will expand just a little more eastward today, a little more eastward Friday, and into the weekend. So for you western slope people, the western slope of Colorado into Utah, and to some extent, the western areas of Wyoming back into eastern Idaho will see a little less in the way of thunderstorm coverage, but still, there'll be thunderstorm chances. The axis of deeper moisture pushing a little bit more east. As we've seen, heavy rain, small hail will be associated with some of these showers and thunderstorms. Some locations over the last few days, if you've got under some of these heavier showers or thunderstorms, you've seen the downpours, you've seen the small hail, and that will again be a concern going forward with a few thunderstorms getting strong. Temperatures will continue to be extremely comfortable. I mean, there's nothing remotely hot yet for the month of June, and for a little bit longer, that's how it's going to go. In fact, temperatures this weekend are actually going to turn slightly cooler in many areas. Now, this omega blocking pattern that we showed you yesterday is going to break down by the middle of next week. It is going to break, and that's going to change things up middle to late next week. But really, until we get to that time frame, the overall general trend isn't going to change a lot. So as we take a look at the satellite imagery, the upper level low, which has been here, is moving a little bit more. It's a little harder to see the circulation, but it's kind of right here now. So just that little subtle eastward shift will take this axis of moisture right here and push it out a little bit further out east into the plains. But we continue to see the high here, the clockwise circulation drawing that moisture up. The low here continues to focus moisture up into these regions right here. This dry air in the southwestern United States really just doesn't have a chance to come on in. So the focus of the moisture with the omega block continues into the region. The blocking pattern in the northeastern United States also responsible with a counterclockwise circulation to bring that smoke into the northeastern areas of the United States, although conditions there will be slowly improving heading on into the weekend. Looking at the precipitable water map, you can see that through today, there's the dark blue up here. So heavy rain producing showers and thunderstorms will be in this area here and in this area right here, where the deeper moisture is going to be. You can see that we talked about the western slope of Colorado and into Utah here. See this little wedge of drier air coming in right there? So that's going to not completely remove thunderstorms, but knock them down a bit. But in these darker green and blue areas, any thunderstorms that form, you're going to get heavy rain. Now this is today, this is by Saturday. So you see that eastward shift there a little bit, getting a little bit further out into the plains. So if you take a look at the Storm Prediction Center, anywhere you see light green is general thunderstorm activity. Dark green is where the thunderstorms may be a little bit heavier. I do think that we should probably take that dark green line and push it down into areas like here for today, as I think that will expand with some of those showers and storms producing heavy rain and small hail. This is for tomorrow, and this is for Saturday. Likely going to see an increasing severe weather threat down into the southern plains by this weekend and into next week. But general thunderstorm coverage continues. This is through 6 p.m. on Sunday. In terms of the forecasted rain, you can see that heavy rain up into Montana, but you can also see the heavier rain getting a little bit further east out into the plains, into eastern Nebraska, western Iowa there into the Corn Belt. But the front range areas of Wyoming along and east of the divide into Colorado will also see plenty of activity again. And there's that wedge of drier air keeping that part of Colorado and eastern Utah a little bit drier. Now, by next Wednesday, the pattern looks a lot different. We have the high beginning to erode here in the upper plain states. We still have a low off the coast of California, but a more westerly flow with the jet stream here is forming. We still have a little bit of a block pattern, but it's breaking down, and it usually should. Blocking patterns tend to be most persistent in winter and spring seasons. As we evolve deeper into the summer, the pattern responsible for the blocking pattern should ease a little bit, and we'll start to see this high here want to be a little bit more north into the southwestern United States and establish itself. It's just off to a later start by as much as 2 or 3 weeks. So as we'll see the pattern change, this does not necessarily mean we go to a hot, dry pattern. It will be warmer in this weather pattern, but we're likely to see more showers and thunderstorms. This is for the 3-day period of Monday through Wednesday of next week. So as the low comes on out, there's still going to be a high probability of showers and thunderstorms basically in some of those same areas as it moves on through. So we're going to go all the way through the middle of June with still a high probability in many areas for more rain and shower and thunderstorm activity. And this is the 10-day cumulative rainfall potential. Pretty good in many areas. And if you look at the nation, you can see that we do see some better rain getting into at least the western Corn Belt still. Some dryness here in the central Corn Belt, wet down in the southeastern areas of the United States and up into New England, and yes, parts of northeastern Canada should get into some rain as well. Now, over the last 30 days, if you look from June 5th back 30 days, this is a little bit hard to see, but here's Denver right here. Here's up into southeastern areas of Wyoming, up around the Casper area. You can see that, you see all these pink areas here? This is rainfall in the last 30 days of 10 to 15 inches, a lot of pink in these areas. The red is 5 to 6 to 8 inches. Now, to put that into perspective, there's a lot of these areas that have picked up 10 to 15 inches of rain in the last 30 days. And many of these areas that are pink tend to average around 15, 16, 17 inches of precipitation a year. This is why we continue to see the drought monitor status in parts of the high plains continue to improve, really quite remarkably wet in those pink areas and the red areas over the last 30 days. And that goes across Texas, eastern New Mexico, Kansas, into western Nebraska, eastern Wyoming, and northeastern areas of Colorado. Have yourself a wonderful Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow.